My boyfriend disappeared on me and the stress is starting to become unbearable with update. So the last time I, F/20, came running to r/relationships for help, it was because my so is too ambitious and successful and it was, starting to stress me out. Man, I would give anything to trade that stress in for what's going on now. The last time I spoke to my so, Jorg, was literally that morning. He went from a wonderful boyfriend who would call me, via Skype, multiple times a day just to say hi and ask how I am, to suddenly nothing. I figured it was because he was busy and off doing some sort of time-consuming project, but over the course of the last week, the situation has only gotten weirder and weirder. I didn't hear from him all day Saturday, or Sunday, or Monday, and then I woke up to this on Tuesday morning, saying that his brother doesn't have access to any social media for a while. Of course, that definitely, temporarily, assuaged my worries, and I sent a cheery message back saying, "Okay, thanks for the update, please tell Jorg that I love him and miss him." No response. Whatever, it's his kid brother. Teenagers are too cool these days for anything sentimental anyway. Tuesday, no word from my boyfriend. Wednesday, none either. Thursday, still none. At this point, I'm getting sketched out because Jorg not only has to go to the uni regularly in order to write his dissertation, but on Thursdays and Fridays, he has an internship at a law firm in Dusseldorf. To believe that he doesn't have access to internet is like believing in chocolate-covered unicorns. So I sent back another message to Marco to try and get some more information, and he said that he talked to his brother yesterday and he will call me when he can, but it can take a few weeks. 4 to 6 weeks? What do you mean, 4 to 6 weeks? In fact, if he can't contact me for 4 to 6 weeks, especially since we're in an international LDR, how the hell am I supposed to believe I still have a boyfriend, let alone expect him to visit me over winter break in Florida, conveniently also in 4 to 6 weeks? At this time, I received a message from Jorg's friend in London asking if I had heard from him at all. He told me he had been trying to contact Jorg for the past week but got no response. I clung to that little sliver of information, because at least now I knew I wasn't the only one left in the dark about my boyfriend. We chatted back and forth a little bit, and his friend promised to keep me updated if he heard anything. The stress of all this worry and not knowing has only led me to believe in these possibilities. Jorg is dead or dying on his deathbed somewhere, i.e. an old-school hospital with no Wi-Fi. Jorg is in rehab, but for what? Granted, he's German so he drinks a lot of beer, but he doesn't smoke or do drugs. Jorg is off in some sabbatical enlightenment camping trip in Tibet or some other third world country, but why wouldn't anyone say something to me about that? Jorg met another girl and is too pussy to tell me. His friend not knowing where he is either makes this seem not too likely. Jorg is in jail, oh god. Jorg is a serial killer, makes sense actually. He's charming, good looking, ambitious, and really smart. Huh? Jorg is a CIA agent working undercover for the German government and is recently in some top secret project that only his immediate family knows about. Jorg got kidnapped by aliens. The last I heard from Marco, Jorg's younger brother, basically reinforced my idea that there's something strange going on and people are purposely withholding information. I've been having all sorts of horrible nightmares of losing my boyfriend, such as me trying to talk to him but he can't hear me no matter how loudly I scream, or me waiting for him the entire dream but he never shows up, or me reaching out to him but he keeps moving farther and farther away. The stress of not knowing where he is sucks. TLDR, my boyfriend is either a serial killer or got kidnapped by aliens. Update. My boyfriend, M/25, disappeared on me and the stress is starting to become unbearable. First of all, I just want to give a big shout out and thanks to Casual Crab for his/her help in calling the local polizei and a few other places for me. Thank you, also, to r/relationships for being so supportive and encouraging. This morning, Marco messaged back and gave me a number to reach Jorg at. I had woken up at 6 a.m. from yet another nightmare, so I immediately loaded up my Skype credits and made the call. First try, some lady picked up, didn't understand a single word of my English, rambled at me in angry sounding German, and then hung up. Second try, this time I entered Bitterkönig Yorksprechen into Google Translate and hit the audio pronunciation with the volume all the way up. The man who answered goes, "Ah yes. Jorg. He is with his mother, please call back later." Well, I have to be in lecture later. In fact, I have to be in lecture all day later. Tuesdays are one of my worst days, with nearly 8 hours of lecture non-stop, and I couldn't focus at all. Throughout the day, I texted dozens of my German-speaking friends asking if they could help me make another call around 10:30 p.m. PST, but everyone was either leaving for Thanksgiving or was too busy. I spent the entire day biting my nails. 10 p.m., my roommate and I spent half an hour practicing our German using Google Translate. 10:30 p.m., I made the call a third time with my heart in my throat. I squeaked out a hello, sprechen Sie English? Can I speak to Jorg? And he answered. Drum roll, please. Turns out the majority of you were correct in assuming that he had been committed to a hospital/rehab of sorts. His parents were concerned at how hard he was working and how stressed he constantly was. Jorg, himself, felt like he was diving headfirst into the dirt, so they made a decision together to get a psychiatric evaluation and get some rest in a rehab ward for exhaustion. I'm beyond relieved that I know where he is now, and that he's safe, but after hearing his voice, I immediately broke into very angry sobs. The amount of stress and worry he had put me through this last week and a half. Well, that doesn't matter. At least I know he's okay now. Apparently, he's still planning on coming to California in the spring to do the whole visiting scholar thing for the law school, and is still flying to Florida this winter. I don't know how much I believe him because I'm scared of putting too much trust in him, but we'll see. Thank you again, Reddit, for helping me through this scary time. TLDR, you guys were right, my boyfriend was in a hospital/rehab for overworking himself. Edit, aesthetic reasons and also covering up personal details that I didn't want the scary internet to know.